Deep in the silent darkness of uncharted space, an alien research fleet drifted without disturbance. No stars illuminated the void, no signals disturbed the sensors. It was a perfect location for study, a perfect place for the alien council to observe and analyze the unknown. The fleet's massive hulls glimmered faintly, black ships with green and purple lights marking command bridges and research modules. Their technology was advanced beyond imagination. They had catalogued hundreds of species. Every system, every life form, every subtle pattern in the galaxy had been observed and studied. They believed nothing could surprise them. But that belief shattered in an instant. A blip appeared on the outer scanners. Small, dim, almost too faint to detect. One human warship, floating silently, drifting as if it were lost in the void. Its hull was battered, scarred from battles no alien had witnessed. Metal plates were scratched and dented. Sections were blackened from fire and cosmic radiation. The ship was old, seemingly abandoned, and yet, something about it made the sensors spike. The fleet's AI highlighted it with a blinking red icon. A single dot in the endless dark. The alien council gathered immediately. Their immense command chamber hummed with energy. Hundreds of consoles flickered with data streams. Elders with multilimbed forms and translucent skin observed the blip. They laughed at first. A single ship, one elder said, its voice echoing unnaturally in the vast chamber. No escort. No support. Just one human relic drifting into our space? This is the height of human power. Others joined in laughter, their voices dripping with disbelief. But the laughter was brief. The fleet moved to scan the ship. Energy waves rippled toward the hull. Light bent and warped as alien sensors tried to pierce the ship's exterior. The scanners hummed, reading metal density, armor thickness, energy signatures, and propulsion systems. The AI calculated expected power levels, expected weaknesses, expected vulnerabilities. And yet, something was wrong. Alarms screamed unexpectedly. Red warning lights pulsed. Sensors detected anomalies they had never seen. Data that should have streamed clearly was blocked. The ship emitted nothing, yet the sensors detected interaction. Something, intelligent, precise, deliberate, was responding. The elders grew tense. Their previous confidence cracked. They tried again, sending deeper probes, energy pulses meant to penetrate and analyze. The ship adjusted instantly. Shields reconfigured. Sensors rerouted. It was not just defensive, it was anticipating. Each probe was met with exact countermeasures. It was listening. It was learning. It was alive in a way the aliens could not define. The lead elder, a creature whose translucent limbs glowed with internal light, leaned forward. Its eyes reflected the flickering displays. "It is aware," it said softly, disbelief in its tone. "It knows we are here." "Yes," a scientist replied. "Our scanners are no longer receiving data. The ship is absorbing, analyzing, and reacting. It is adapting." The council's laughter had vanished. Fear settled in like a creeping fog. For the first time, they realized the danger was not in weapons or fleet size. The danger was in intelligence. In strategy. In the terrifying calm of something that understood them before they understood it. The human warship was awake, and it was not afraid. Minutes passed. Hours seemed to stretch as the fleet watched, paralyzed by disbelief. Every second the ship remained in scanning range, it grew more dangerous. Its AI observed alien reactions, patterns in scanning pulses, micro-delays in firing protocols. It memorized, catalogued, and optimized responses. Every hesitation of the council, every flicker of panic in the crew, every subtle decision was recorded. The ship was no longer a vessel. It was a recorder, a historian, a teacher. The lead elder tried to rally the fleet. "Focus. Concentrate. We are the greatest minds in the galaxy. We have studied countless species. No one can match us." But the screens told a different story. The ship did not behave predictably. It did not flee. It did not attack. It simply floated, silent, observing, calculating, preparing. The council tried to anticipate its next move, but their predictions failed. Every scenario collapsed. Every plan became obsolete before it could even be executed. Fear turned into panic. Panic turned into awe. The Council realized they were no longer in control. Humanity, through this single warship, had shifted the balance. The ship's engines remained idle, yet its power systems hummed with purpose. Energy rippled subtly through the hull. Sensors rotated minutely, always scanning, always watching, always waiting. The AI of the ship had learned the Council's decision-making processes. It could predict their moves faster than any alien mind could adapt. It had studied hesitation, calculated reactions, and memorized strategy. Every misstep the aliens made was already being stored. Every weakness would be used, not immediately, but eventually, in a way that would change the galaxy forever. One elder moved closer to the central console, its voice shaking. They are faster than thought. Smarter than anticipated. This is impossible. One ship cannot hold so much knowledge, so much calculation. Yes, whispered another. It is not just a machine. It is humanity in concentrated form. It remembers. It learns. It plans. The realization sank like a stone in water. The Council understood their centuries of superiority had been challenged, not by numbers, not by technology, but by the sheer persistence, intelligence, and adaptability of a single human ship. One vessel had rewritten centuries of assumptions. One ship had made them vulnerable without even firing a shot. The AI of the alien fleet attempted one more calculation. It sent deeper energy scans, complex algorithms designed to map internal systems, predict responses, and uncover vulnerabilities. But the ship was always ahead. Shielding reconfigured before the scan completed. Sensors rerouted. Power flows adjusted. The human vessel had anticipated every action. Every failure the aliens had ever encountered had been converted into lessons for the ship's AI. Every mistake, every hesitation, every tiny flaw in judgment would be remembered and stored for the humans to use later. For the Council, silence filled the chamber. No words could convey the depth of their fear. Their lights flickered nervously. Fleet movements slowed. Decisions, once automatic, became tentative. The laughter of earlier cycles was gone, replaced by a creeping dread that spread through every alien mind. The human ship did not move aggressively. It did not fire. It did not surrender. It simply existed, floating in the void, silent and precise, observing everything, recording everything, and preparing for a future the aliens could not imagine. Time seemed to stretch, bending under the weight of inevitability. The Council realized that one human ship, battered and scarred, held more potential than fleets they had spent centuries building. One vessel carried knowledge, strategy, patience, and intelligence that no alien army could match. And it was awake. It was aware. It had emerged from the void to teach a lesson the galaxy would never forget. The lead elder's voice, barely above a whisper, echoed in the chamber. We have never faced this before. Not a species. Not a ship. Not an intelligence. We are unprepared. And deep in the darkness of space, the human warship floated silently, patient, calculating, awake. It had survived battles, endured losses, and learned from everything the galaxy had tried to throw at it. The Council did not yet understand the scope of the danger. They could not imagine the intelligence, the endurance, the calm, and the adaptability of the humans. But fear had taken root. And from that fear, the galaxy itself would soon change. Every movement, every hesitation, every decision of the Alien Council was now a part of humanity's lesson plan. Every blink of red alarm, every calculation of vulnerability, every misstep in strategy, recorded, analyzed, and stored. Humanity was no longer merely a species. It was a force of awareness, patience, and adaptation. It was alive in ways the aliens could not destroy. It was awake. And somewhere in the infinite void, humanity had begun its quiet reckoning. The galaxy did not yet know it, but the warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and it carried with it the knowledge, the patience, and the power to change everything. The human warship drifted silently in the dark void, its hull scarred and battered, yet brimming with quiet power. Deep inside, its AI worked tirelessly, analyzing every sensor, every probe, every movement of the alien fleet. It was not sending signals. It did not need to. The aliens believed they controlled the encounter, but the truth was the opposite. The ship was learning, calculating, absorbing knowledge faster than any creature could comprehend. Every shift in the alien fleet's formation, every pulse of energy from their scanners, every slight hesitation in their decision-making, it was all recorded, studied, and catalogued. The ship's crew, though small and weary, remained calm. They had faced overwhelming odds before. They had survived impossible battles. They knew fear, but they had learned to turn it into patience, into strategy, into power. The aliens, confident in their superiority, had no idea that they were teaching humanity their greatest lesson yet. Within the alien council chamber, panic quietly grew. Elders huddled around flickering consoles, watching the ship with disbelief. Their simulations, once so precise, were failing. Calculated outcomes, expected responses, and predicted patterns all crumbled against the quiet intelligence of the human vessel. "It is not responding as we expected," one elder whispered, its voice trembling. "Every probe we send, every calculation we make, it anticipates. It adapts." Others exchanged horrified glances. They had never encountered a species that could learn this quickly, this thoroughly. Every mistake they had made in past encounters, every flaw in strategy, every hesitation, the humans were absorbing it all. The human ship sensors rotated imperceptibly, scanning the alien fleet, watching, calculating. The crew inside the bridge remained silent, eyes fixed on displays showing alien energy pulses and fleet formations. The AI fed them predictions, not of panic or fear, but of calculation and opportunity. Every mistake the aliens made could be used. Every hesitation could be exploited. Humanity had endured centuries of conflict, and every loss had been transformed into knowledge. They were not just surviving, they were preparing for dominance. Every scar on the warship's hull was a story, a lesson learned, a warning carried across the void. The aliens tried to strike first. Energy beams surged toward the human vessel, scanners drilled deeper, probes attempted to penetrate the ship's defenses. The ship responded instantly, rerouting power, adjusting shields, altering sensor arrays. Every attack was studied and recorded. The crew remained calm, unmoved by the display of alien force. Each assault only provided more data, more opportunity to learn, more insight into the enemy they had underestimated. Humanity did not panic. Humanity did not falter. Humanity adapted. And with every second, the gap between the prepared and the unprepared widened. The alien council felt a cold dread settle over them. They had believed themselves untouchable, untaught, unbeatable. Yet here was one ship, battered and alone, teaching them what they never expected to learn. The humans were faster, smarter, and more patient than anything in the galaxy. One elder's translucent hands trembled as it tapped a console. We thought they were weak. We thought one ship could never pose a threat. But every move we make, every action, every hesitation, they see it, they store it, they use it. Another elder's voice quivered. They are learning from us. Everything we know, everything we plan, they are absorbing it all. One ship has made us vulnerable. Outside, the human warship continued its silent observation. Its AI connected every piece of data from previous encounters, not only with the current fleet but with centuries of historical knowledge. Every engagement humanity had faced, every battle they had survived, every scar left on their ships or their people, had been transformed into algorithms of survival and mastery. The ship was not merely defensive. It was an instrument of understanding, an archive of human endurance, a teacher of the very essence of survival. Every alien move was not a threat but a lesson. Every signal, every energy pulse, every change in formation was now a thread in the human's growing web of preparation. Time stretched as the alien fleet hesitated. Fear became palpable in the chamber, spreading from elder to elder, across consoles and sensors. They could see the power of the human ship, yet they could not touch it. It was invisible, untouchable, and terrifying in its quiet patience. The AI of the alien fleet attempted to predict outcomes, but every calculation failed. Every strategy crumbled against the unseen intelligence of humanity. The Council realized that one mistake, one miscalculation, could cost them everything. One human ship had already rewritten centuries of assumptions. One vessel had made the invincible appear weak. On the warship, the crew reviewed the alien fleet's patterns. They did not speak much. Words were unnecessary. The AI's projections were clear. Every hesitation, every flaw, every predictable action of the aliens could be used. The humans had learned patience. They had learned observation. They had learned how to survive when the odds were impossible. And they had learned that knowledge was the deadliest weapon of all. Every scar, every dent, every battle remembered by the ship and the crew had become part of a larger plan, a plan invisible to the aliens, a plan patient, deliberate, unstoppable. The Alien Council tried again to take control. Energy pulses, deeper scans, probes, anything to gain advantage. Yet the ship anticipated, adapted, and countered every attempt before it was even fully executed. One elder spoke aloud, voice quivering, "They are too fast, too precise, too aware. One ship should not hold so much power, but it does." Others nodded silently. The realization sank in fully. Humanity had become a force not by weapons, not by fleets, but by endurance, intelligence, and the will to survive. Every hesitation the Council had ever taken was now a lesson for humanity. Every mistake made by alien fleets had been memorized and analyzed. The humans had turned observation into a weapon, patience into dominance, and endurance into unstoppable force. The warship continued to drift silently, calm, watching, recording, and preparing. It was not lost. It was not aimless. It was awake. It was aware. It had survived the impossible before, and it would survive again. Humanity had learned how to use knowledge, experience, and strategy in a way the aliens could not yet comprehend. The Council understood the truth too late. They were not facing a ship. They were facing the embodiment of human will, intelligence, and endurance. They were facing the unstoppable. As darkness stretched across the void, the Alien Council remained frozen in fear. The humans, inside the ship, continued to learn, calculate, and prepare. They had endured centuries of war, and now, even alone, their vessel carried centuries of strategy, pain, loss, and survival into the emptiness of space. The aliens had laughed at its scratches, mocked its scars, and dismissed its solitary presence. That laughter had died in the silence of realization. Humanity's ship was too powerful to be ignored, too intelligent to be underestimated, too patient to be defeated. The Council felt the weight of inevitability. One ship, a single vessel, had rewritten the rules of the galaxy. One ship had taught them fear. One ship had made them question every plan, every calculation, every moment of assumed superiority. Humanity had survived, adapted, and grown stronger in ways the galaxy had never seen. And as the human warship continued to float silently, patient, and watchful, the Alien Council understood fully. Something had emerged from the void that could never be controlled, never be predicted, and never be stopped. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun. The human warship remained calm in the void, silent yet alive with intelligence beyond what the Alien Council could comprehend. Every system was active, every sensor alive, every thought of the AI and crew dedicated to understanding the enemy that had dismissed them. The aliens had thought one ship, battered, scarred, and alone, could be ignored. They had laughed. They had assumed superiority. They had underestimated the patience, endurance, and cunning of humanity. And now, their mistake echoed across every deck, every console, every mind of the Council. Inside the warship, the AI flickered with streams of calculation. It had learned the patterns of the alien fleet almost instantly, the way their sensors pulsed, the slight lag in their reactions, the subtle energy fluctuations that betrayed hesitation. Every scan the aliens sent was not merely blocked or avoided. It was studied, analyzed, catalogued, and stored. Every energy pulse, every probe, every attempt at intimidation was recorded as a lesson. The ship systems adapted, reconfigured, improved. Every action the aliens took became a blueprint for future survival. Humanity had learned long ago that knowledge, patience, and observation were the deadliest weapons of all. The Alien Council, once confident, was now paralyzed with fear. Screens flickered as their simulations failed again and again. Every outcome the AI predicted ended in disaster for them. One small ship had made fleets, strategies, and centuries of planning meaningless. Every elder understood the terrifying truth: the humans were learning faster than they could fight. One mistake, one hesitation, one misstep, and their empire could crumble. Whispers filled the chamber, voices low and trembling. "We underestimated them," said one. "One ship, one single vessel, has shown us how fragile we are." Another voice added, every plan, every fleet, every calculation, it is already known to them. They do not panic, they do not err. We cannot outthink them. The humans inside the warship did not speak of fear. There was none. They did not shout or curse. They observed. They calculated. Every alien movement was a lesson, every probe a teacher, every energy pulse a map. The crew's eyes glimmered with calm determination. They had survived impossible battles before. They had seen fleets destroyed, planets burned, colonies shattered. Yet humanity endured. Humanity learned. Humanity adapted. They had grown stronger in the crucible of war, sharper in the face of annihilation, more patient under pressure than any other species in the galaxy. And now, this single vessel carried that experience into the void, silent, unwavering, unstoppable. The alien fleet tried to strike again. Energy beams surged, scanners drilled deeper, probes tested the hull's integrity. The human ship responded instantly. Shields realigned, power rerouted, sensors adjusted. Every attack was recorded, every pattern noted, every strategy analyzed. The ship did not panic. It did not flee. It did not make mistakes. It did what humans had always done in impossible situations. They learned. Every strike, every failure, every close call became another lesson, another step toward mastery, another edge over the alien empire that had thought them insignificant. Inside the alien council, tension climbed to a fever pitch. Elders moved nervously, limbs twitching as they attempted new calculations. Simulations ran continuously, but each one failed to account for the humans' adaptability. Every attempt to predict their next move was wrong. Every strategy the council considered had already been learned, improved upon, and neutralized by a species they had dismissed. One elder, pale and trembling, spoke aloud, "They are not just surviving. They are evolving. Each move we make becomes a lesson for them. They are turning our attacks into their advantage." Another whispered, "We have taught them everything. Every flaw, every hesitation, every error, they have taken it all and made it their weapon." The warship drifted silently, patiently, like a predator in the dark. Its crew was focused, not on aggression, but on learning. Every moment the aliens spent attempting to dominate was a moment they collected knowledge. Every miscalculation, every nervous twitch, every reaction was another piece of the puzzle. Humanity had endured centuries of warfare, countless battles where numbers and technology had seemed insufficient, yet every loss had strengthened them. Now, that strength had condensed into this one ship, teaching the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Time passed slowly. The alien fleet hesitated, their commanders second-guessing every move. Fear had replaced confidence. Confidence had dissolved into panic. The Council's once pristine plans were now useless against a single human vessel. The elders' voices were low, trembling, filled with a mixture of dread and awe. "They are faster than thought. Smarter than anticipated. We cannot predict them. We cannot stop them. One ship has changed everything." The human warship continued its silent observation. Its sensors rotated subtly, recording, analyzing, learning. The AI had already memorized alien tactics, strategies, energy patterns, and responses. Every weak point, every hesitation, every microflaw in judgment had been noted. Humanity was not merely surviving, it was preparing, absorbing every lesson, growing stronger with every second. Every scar on the hull, every dent, every battle mark was a story, a memory, a testament to human endurance. The aliens could see nothing but a quiet vessel, yet the truth was terrifying. One ship carried the intelligence of centuries, the patience of millennia, and the cunning of a species that had never surrendered, never panicked, never lost faith. The alien council tried to act once more, but every attempt failed. Missiles, energy pulses, probes, all intercepted, countered, adapted against, analyzed. Every misstep became a teaching moment. Every hesitation, every reaction, every calculated strike was now part of humanity's growing advantage. Fear settled fully over the council, and even those who had once laughed at the human vessel understood the truth. This was no ordinary ship. This was a teacher, a recorder, a weapon beyond comprehension. Humanity had survived the impossible, learned faster than any species, and transformed patience into dominance. The human warship floated silently, its presence alone rewriting the rules of engagement. The alien council's panic grew with every passing second. They realized they were no longer in control. Their fleets, their technology, their centuries of strategy, all could be neutralized by knowledge, patience, and adaptation. Humanity had endured, and now it was teaching the galaxy a lesson in resilience, intelligence, and unstoppable will. The lead elder spoke, voice quivering, We cannot fight what we do not understand. One ship, one vessel, has made us vulnerable. Every fleet, every plan, every assumption, useless against their patience, their learning, their resolve. Others nodded silently. They could see the truth reflected on the screens. The human ship, scarred, battered, alone, was not merely surviving, it was preparing. And so the warship drifted, patient, calculating, unstoppable. The alien council could do nothing but watch, helpless, awed, terrified. Humanity was not just awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun to teach, to survive, to dominate, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The human warship floated in the endless darkness, silent but alive with purpose. Its hull was scarred from battles long past, its engines idle yet humming with latent energy. Every system within the ship worked in harmony, connected through the AI that had learned, observed, and adapted faster than any alien mind could comprehend. The alien fleet continued to probe, to scan, to strike, yet each attempt was met not with panic, not with fear, but with calculation. The ship had already anticipated every pattern, every pause, every signal the aliens could emit. What the Council considered advanced tactics, sophisticated strikes, and calculated measures were already obsolete in the presence of the human silent patience. The crew aboard remained calm, their eyes reflecting a quiet fire of endurance. They did not speak much. Words were unnecessary. Every glance, every movement, every action was informed by centuries of human experience, encoded into algorithms, strategies, and instincts that no alien could counter. The Alien Council, once confident in their superiority, now struggled to contain the rising panic. Simulations that had worked countless times before against other species failed against this single vessel. Every attempt to predict human behavior faltered. Every strategy, meticulously planned over decades, unraveled in the face of one ship that did not act impulsively, did not panic, did not make mistakes. It adapts faster than our calculations, whispered one elder, its translucent limbs trembling. We are irrelevant in comparison. One ship, one vessel, has shown us that all our fleets, all our tactics, all our power means nothing. Another added, voice shaking, It sees everything we do, learns from every hesitation, every flaw, every misstep. We have trained them without even trying. The human warship's AI rotated the sensors imperceptibly, observing every subtle energy shift, every micro-adjustment in alien weapons, every flicker of hesitation. Every strike, every pulse, every attempt at dominance was absorbed and recorded. The humans had turned survival into a weapon, endurance into strategy, and observation into power. Every scar, every dent, every battle mark told a story of resilience. Each lesson from centuries of conflict, countless battles where humans had survived against impossible odds, was now being applied in real time. The aliens had assumed that one ship could be outmaneuvered, outgunned, outthought, yet the truth was terrifying. Humanity had learned how to anticipate, how to adapt, how to endure in ways the aliens could not even imagine. The Council tried again to assert control, ordering attacks with more energy, faster probes, and deeper scans. Missiles surged toward the ship, energy pulses rippled across the void, and scanning waves probed every inch of the hull. But the human warship was always ahead. Shields adjusted instantly, rerouting energy from damaged sections, reinforcing weak points, rebalancing power, and analyzing the aliens' attack patterns. Every assault provided another lesson. Every strategy was catalogued, converted into data, and integrated into the ship's tactical systems. The aliens realized too late that they had given humanity more than they intended. Every failure of theirs, every miscalculation, every hesitation had become fuel for the humans' advantage. Fear spread like wildfire across the Alien Council. Their once pristine confidence, the certainty that they dominated the galaxy, shattered under the weight of realization. One ship, scarred and battered, had rewritten centuries of expectation. One vessel had made them vulnerable without firing a single shot. Every elder understood the terrifying truth: the humans were not simply surviving, They were learning faster, adapting smarter, and observing with precision beyond imagination. "We underestimated them," whispered an elder, its voice trembling. "They have absorbed everything we have done, everything we are capable of, everything we have tried to hide. They are unstoppable." Inside the human warship, the crew remained calm. The AI had already processed alien fleet patterns, predicted energy emissions, and calculated the best defensive configurations. Every movement of the aliens was anticipated, every strike countered, every probe rendered useless. The humans had survived fleets that should have destroyed them, planets under fire that should have burned them, and now, one vessel alone carried the accumulated wisdom of countless battles into the void. They did not fear the aliens. They respected them, studied them, and prepared to turn observation into advantage. Every hesitation, every flaw, every reaction of the enemy was another step toward mastery, another calculation in the humans' growing understanding of the galaxy's greatest minds. The Alien Council's panic escalated further as simulations showed failures at every turn. Calculated fleet maneuvers collapsed under the humans' unseen intelligence. Every predicted outcome was obsolete. Every plan they had counted on was already anticipated. The realization struck them harder than any weapon could. Humans were not reactive. They were proactive. They had taken every lesson of survival, every scar of past battles, every ounce of endurance and transformed it into an unstoppable force of adaptation. The Council understood fully. One human ship, alone, could teach the galaxy lessons no fleet had dared imagine. Time stretched in the void. The human warship drifted silently, yet every second was alive with calculation. The crew observed, the AI analyzed, and the ship adapted. It was more than metal and circuits, it was intelligence, patience, endurance, and strategy in physical form. The alien fleet had assumed control, assumed dominance, assumed superiority. Now they were nothing but observers, paralyzed, powerless, terrified. Humanity had survived impossible odds, endured centuries of warfare, and now one ship alone carried that strength, that intelligence, that unyielding will across the stars. The lead elder finally spoke, voice quivering, "We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One vessel, one ship, has shown us that our fleets, our calculations, our history of strategy, means nothing. We have taught them everything. We have created our own downfall." Others nodded silently, fear mirrored in every flickering console, every trembling hand, every trembling limb. The humans, in contrast, remained calm, composed, and ready. Every move, every observation, every calculation had been turned into power. The Alien Council could see only silence, yet within that silence lay the most terrifying force in the galaxy: humanity, awake, aware, and unstoppable. The human warship continued to drift, patient, calculating, silent yet alive with the knowledge and endurance of countless generations. It had survived battles that should have destroyed it, it had learned from losses that should have broken it, and it had grown stronger from every trial. The aliens had laughed at scratches, scars, and solitude, yet those very marks carried centuries of wisdom, patience, and strategy. Humanity was not just a species in the void, they were a force. And the Council, paralyzed with fear and awe, finally understood that the warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The human warship floated silently in the void, its battered hull glinting faintly under distant starlight, yet alive with purpose and intelligence that no alien mind could fully comprehend. Inside, the crew moved with calm precision, their eyes scanning displays that showed the alien fleet's every subtle movement, every hesitation, every miscalculation. The AI, an extension of their collective knowledge and experience, processed data faster than any biological mind could follow. Every probe, every energy wave, every attempt at intimidation from the alien fleet had been absorbed, catalogued, and transformed into understanding. Humanity was patient, unshakable, and precise. They had survived impossible odds, endured countless battles, faced fleets far larger and more powerful, and yet here they were, one ship alone, teaching the galaxy a lesson in endurance and intelligence. The Alien Council's command chamber was filled with tension so thick it could be felt in every trembling limb and flickering light. Every elder understood that their centuries of confidence and dominance had been challenged in ways they could not anticipate. Their best simulations failed, their most trusted strategies collapsed, and their fleets had become ineffective shadows against the quiet intelligence of one human vessel. Fear had settled over them like a suffocating blanket. One elder, its voice barely audible over the hum of consoles, whispered, "We have underestimated them. We thought one ship was insignificant, but every move we make, every action, is already accounted for. They are faster, smarter, and more patient than anything we have faced." Another elder added, voice trembling, "Every hesitation, every flaw, every mistake we have ever made has been recorded, studied, and stored. We have trained them without even knowing it." The alien fleet attempted again to assert control, sending energy pulses, probes, and even targeted micromissiles toward the human warship. Each attack was met with perfect countermeasures. Shields rerouted instantly, sensors adjusted to anticipate the strikes, and every assault was analyzed in real time. The ship did not panic. It did not flee. It did not even visibly react. Instead, it absorbed every lesson, every data point, every pattern, turning the aliens' aggression into a roadmap for dominance. Humanity had learned to endure, to adapt, and to turn every threat into opportunity. Inside the human warship, the crew worked silently, hearts steady, minds focused. They had faced worse, survived impossible odds, and emerged stronger each time. The AI communicated predictions and insights with calm efficiency. "Energy pulses at Vector 3 will peak in 12 seconds, it said. "Adjust shields by 15% to maintain optimal defense. Fleet formation is shifting, analyze response patterns and anticipate next strike." The crew adjusted controls with practiced precision. Every movement, every decision, every calculation was deliberate. Humanity had learned that patience, observation, and intelligence were more powerful than fleets of warships. The alien council watched helplessly. Every prediction they made failed. Every strategy they implemented was anticipated and neutralized. Fear escalated into terror. Confidence turned into panic. "They are not just a ship," one elder whispered, trembling. "They are a force. They are intelligence incarnate. We cannot outthink them. We cannot outmaneuver them. Every calculation, every plan, every advantage we have, is now theirs." Another added, voice barely audible, "We have taught them everything we know. Every weakness, every hesitation, every error, they have learned it all. One ship has made us vulnerable." The human warship drifted silently, yet every second was alive with learning, adaptation, and calculation. Every probe, every strike, every attempt at dominance was now part of their growing arsenal of knowledge. Humanity had turned survival into strategy, endurance into advantage, and observation into a weapon that no fleet could counter. Every scar on the hull, every dent, every burned patch of metal told a story of battles survived, lessons learned, and patience perfected. The humans inside the ship did not fear the aliens. They respected them, studied them, and prepared to turn observation into power. The alien fleet, meanwhile, hesitated, unsure how to proceed. Every maneuver, every signal, every tactical decision was now a risk. One misstep, one miscalculation, one moment of hesitation could be exploited. The Council could see it clearly now. One human ship, alone, carried intelligence, strategy, and patience far beyond anything they had encountered. They were outmatched not by firepower, not by numbers, but by the unrelenting, precise, and calculating nature of humanity. Time stretched across the void. The human warship floated, patient, silent, and powerful in its calm. The alien fleet could strike, could probe, could attempt any strategy, yet they were always one step behind. Humanity had survived the impossible, adapted faster than anyone could imagine, and now carried that strength, that intelligence, that quiet resolve into the endless darkness of space. The Council understood, fully and finally, that the humans were not merely surviving. They were teaching. They were observing. They were preparing. And every second that passed only strengthened them. The lead elder's voice, shaking with fear, broke the silence. "We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One ship, one vessel, has shown us that our knowledge, our fleets, our centuries of preparation, are nothing against their endurance, their patience, their intelligence. We have underestimated them, and now, we are vulnerable." The chamber fell silent. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced with fear and awe. The humans, inside the warship, remained calm, silent, ready. Every hesitation of the Council, every miscalculation, every weakness had been recorded, analyzed, and integrated into the humans' growing power. The aliens had taught humanity everything, and humanity had turned that knowledge into dominance. The human warship continued to drift, calm, calculating, unstoppable. Its presence alone had rewritten the rules of engagement. The alien council, paralyzed, could do nothing but observe. One ship, scarred, battered, alone, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The human warship drifted in the endless darkness of uncharted space, battered and scarred, yet alive with quiet strength and precision. Every system hummed with intelligence beyond comprehension, every sensor scanned the alien fleet, recording each movement, each hesitation, each signal, each flaw. The crew, small in number yet immense in experience, moved with calm determination. Their eyes reflected the fire of countless battles, eyes that had witnessed empires rise and fall, planets burn, fleets obliterate. They had endured, survived, and learned from every loss, and now one ship carried the culmination of centuries of human endurance into the void. They did not panic. They did not speak much. Words were unnecessary. Observation, calculation, patience, that was their weapon, and they wielded it silently. The alien council, once brimming with confidence, now quivered with fear. Every simulation failed. Every strategy was obsolete. The fleet, vast and powerful, seemed insignificant against one human vessel. "It is impossible," whispered an elder, its voice trembling. "One ship, one vessel, should not hold so much power. But every move we make, every signal we send, every hesitation we show, it sees, it learns, it adapts. We cannot win." Another elder's hand shook as it tapped a console. "We have taught them everything. Every flaw we have, every misstep, every hesitation, they have absorbed it all. One ship has made us vulnerable." The aliens attempted a coordinated strike. Energy pulses surged, missiles were launched, scanning beams probed every inch of the human ship. Yet every attack was anticipated. Shields adjusted instantly, rerouting power to weaker sections, absorbing energy, analyzing patterns, and learning. The ship did not falter. It did not panic. Each assault strengthened its knowledge, refined its strategies, and reinforced its dominance. Humanity had learned that patience and observation were deadlier than fleets. Every strike became a lesson, every attempt a teacher, and every misstep of the aliens a map to victory. Inside the warship, the crew worked in silent harmony with the AI. Every data stream, every sensor reading, every alien movement was processed, analyzed, and converted into action. "Vector adjustments indicate a shift in the fleet's formation," the AI said. "Energy pulses have increased by 7%. Prepare adaptive shielding and anticipate next maneuver." The crew adjusted controls, rerouted power, recalibrated sensors. They had faced impossible odds before. They had survived countless battles where numbers and technology seemed insurmountable. They knew how to endure. They knew how to adapt. And now, they carried the wisdom of history, the cunning of experience, and the patience of survival into this moment. Fear in the alien council grew unchecked. The elders' voices were hushed, quivering with disbelief. "They are faster, smarter, and more precise than anything we have encountered," whispered one. "One vessel has made our entire fleet irrelevant. Every plan, every calculation, every advantage we thought we had, gone." Another added, "They are learning from everything we do. Every strike, every hesitation, every energy fluctuation has been recorded and catalogued. They are turning our strengths against us. We have created our own downfall." The human warship did not celebrate. It did not taunt. It did not need to. Calm, patient, silent, the ship and its crew observed, learned, and prepared. Every movement of the alien fleet, every subtle shift in energy, every micro-adjustment in their tactics became data, became strategy, became advantage. Humanity had turned survival into dominance, endurance into intelligence, and observation into an unstoppable force. Every dent on the hull, every scar, every burned patch of metal told a story of resilience, of battles survived, of lessons learned, and of patience perfected. The aliens had underestimated humanity. They had mocked them. They had assumed one battered vessel could be dismissed. Now they faced the terrifying truth: one human ship was more dangerous than entire fleets, not because of weapons, but because of mind, will, and experience. Time stretched across the void as the alien fleet hesitated. One mistake, one miscalculation, one hesitation could be fatal. They could not predict the humans. They could not anticipate the ship's next action. Their fleets, their weapons, their technology, all were meaningless against calculation, endurance, and adaptation. Fear spread like wildfire. Panic infected the council. Commands were given, strategies changed, simulations rerun, yet nothing worked. One ship had rewritten every rule they had known. One vessel had exposed every weakness, every flaw, every hesitation in their centuries of domination. The crew of the human warship remained calm. They did not shout. They did not panic. Their eyes, steady and determined, reflected the weight of survival, the wisdom of countless battles, and the patience to endure the impossible. Every scan, every movement, every calculation built upon the last. Humanity had survived, adapted, learned, and transformed pain and loss into the most powerful weapon in the galaxy: experience, patience, and unyielding will. The alien council's panic reached its peak. Voices quivered across the chamber. We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One ship, one vessel, has taught us that our fleets, our strategies, our centuries of experience mean nothing. We have created our own defeat, whispered one elder. The others could only nod, paralyzed by fear, unable to comprehend how one ship could hold so much power. The humans, however, inside the warship, remained calm. Every hesitation, every misstep, every flaw of the aliens had been noted, analyzed, and incorporated into the humans' growing dominance. They had taken what the aliens offered and transformed it into a weapon far beyond the Council's comprehension. And so the human warship floated silently, patient, calculating, and unstoppable. Its presence alone had rewritten the rules of engagement. The alien council could do nothing but watch, helpless, terrified, and in awe. One ship, scarred and battered, alone, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The human warship glided silently through the void, battered, scarred, alone, yet alive with intelligence that surpassed any species the galaxy had ever known. Its sensors rotated imperceptibly, scanning, analyzing, calculating every move of the alien fleet. Every energy pulse, every fleet adjustment, every hesitation, every subtle shift in formation, it was all recorded, catalogued, and transformed into knowledge. The crew, small but resolute, moved with calm precision, their eyes reflecting the fire of countless battles, their minds sharpened by centuries of human survival. They did not panic. They did not shout. Every word, every glance, every movement was deliberate, precise, and deadly in its restraint. Humanity had endured the impossible before, had survived against impossible odds, and now carried that strength and wisdom into the void, ready to turn observation into dominance. Inside the alien council, fear had reached a new level of intensity. Every elder's voice trembled, every limb shook, every console flickered under the weight of panic. The simulations that had guided their strategies for centuries failed catastrophically against the human ship. Every plan they had trusted, every assumption they had relied upon, every calculation they had made, rendered useless. "It is impossible," whispered one elder, eyes wide with terror. "One ship, alone, cannot hold such power, cannot learn so quickly, cannot anticipate everything. And yet, it does. It sees everything. It adapts instantly. Every mistake, every hesitation, every flaw of ours has become theirs. We cannot win." Another elder's voice shook with disbelief. "We have trained them without realizing it. Every weakness, every error, every misstep, they have turned into their weapon. One ship has made our fleets irrelevant." The alien fleet attempted one more coordinated assault, hoping to overwhelm the human vessel with numbers and firepower. Energy beams surged, missiles streaked through the void, scanning waves probed the hull relentlessly. But the human warship anticipated it all. Shields flexed, engines adjusted, sensors recalibrated. Every attack was neutralized before it fully manifested. Every pattern, every formation, every pulse became data, lessons, and strategy for the humans. Humanity had learned that patience, observation, and endurance were deadlier than fleets. Every strike, every failed attack, every miscalculation of the aliens strengthened the ship's knowledge and sharpened its strategy. The crew, inside the warship, moved with calm precision, turning chaos into clarity, fear into fuel, and observation into power. The alien council was paralyzed. Confidence was gone. Pride had dissolved. The once pristine command chamber echoed with trembling whispers. "They are not just surviving. They are mastering us," said one elder, voice low and quivering. "Every attempt we make is already predicted. Every strategy we try is already countered. We cannot act faster than they learn. We cannot outthink them. One ship, alone, has taught us fear we have never known." Another elder added, voice barely audible, "We are witnessing the impossible. Humanity, they have become more than a species. They have become a force, a mind, a lesson in endurance and precision. One ship has rewritten everything we thought we knew about war." The human warship floated silently, yet its presence was overwhelming. Every second that passed strengthened its dominance. The crew did not need weapons to intimidate. Their calm, their intelligence, their patience was weapon enough. Every microflaw, every hesitation, every reaction of the aliens was recorded and catalogued. Humanity was no longer just surviving. Humanity was teaching. Humanity was mastering. Every scar on the hull, every dent, every burn mark told a story of survival, of battles endured, of lessons learned. The humans had turned every hardship into knowledge, every pain into strategy, every loss into power. Time seemed to slow for the alien council. Every hesitation, every thought, every command carried the weight of inevitability. One mistake could cost everything. The alien fleet, despite its vast numbers and superior technology, was helpless against one human vessel. Every calculation, every prediction, every plan was already obsolete. One ship had shown them that intelligence, patience, and endurance could overpower fleets. One ship had revealed the terrifying truth: humanity was not just alive in the void, they were unstoppable. The lead elder spoke, trembling, voice quivering under the weight of fear and awe. "We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One vessel, one scarred, battered, solitary ship, has made us vulnerable in ways we cannot comprehend. Every fleet, every strategy, every advantage we thought we had, meaningless. We have created our own undoing." The chamber fell silent. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced with terror and disbelief. The humans inside the warship remained calm, focused, ready. Every hesitation, every flaw, every miscalculation of the aliens had been noted, analyzed, and transformed into advantage. Humanity had taken the knowledge the galaxy had unknowingly gifted them and had built from it a force the Council could not touch, not comprehend, not stop. The human warship drifted, patient, calculating, alive with the intelligence and endurance of countless generations. The alien fleet had tried to dominate, had tried to control, had tried to strike, yet every attempt only strengthened the humans' advantage. One ship, alone, scarred, battered, had become more powerful than entire fleets. Humanity had survived the impossible, adapted beyond prediction, and was now teaching the galaxy a lesson in patience, intelligence, and unstoppable will. The Council could only watch, helpless, terrified, and in awe. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The void seemed endless, silent, and eternal, yet every heartbeat, every calculation, every movement of the human warship carried the weight of generations. The aliens had laughed, mocked, and underestimated the vessel. That laughter had died in the silence of realization. One ship had become a force. One ship had rewritten the rules of war. One ship had begun the age of humanity. And in that darkness, amidst fear and awe, the alien council understood fully. The humans were not just present, they were unstoppable. The human warship drifted in the endless void, alone yet alive, battered yet powerful, silent yet filled with purpose. Its hull carried scars of countless battles, dents from close calls, burn marks from energy blasts, but within that damage lay the story of survival, endurance, and wisdom. Every system hummed with intelligence that surpassed the alien fleet, every sensor scanned, calculated, and adapted to every signal the aliens emitted. The crew moved with quiet precision, eyes reflecting the calm fire of centuries of human survival. They did not panic. They did not shout. They observed, learned, calculated, and prepared. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, had survived annihilation, and now one ship carried that legacy across the void, turning observation into an unstoppable weapon. The alien council trembled as they watched helplessly. Confidence, pride, and arrogance had all dissolved into fear. The simulations they relied upon failed. The strategies they had perfected over centuries were useless. Every fleet maneuver, every energy emission, every hesitation they displayed had been recorded, catalogued, and transformed into advantage for the humans. "It sees everything," whispered one elder, trembling. "Every movement, every thought, every strategy, accounted for. One ship has learned faster than any of us could anticipate. We are powerless." Another elder added, voice shaking, "Every flaw we have, every hesitation, every weakness we have exposed, it has turned them into strength. One vessel has made our fleets meaningless." The alien fleet surged forward in desperation, firing volleys of missiles, waves of energy pulses, and scanning probes at the human ship. Every attack was met with instant adaptation. Shields rerouted, engines shifted, sensors recalibrated, and every strike became another lesson in survival, another piece of data in the humans' growing dominance. The warship did not panic. It did not flinch. Every attack only made it stronger, smarter, faster. Humanity had learned that patience, observation, and endurance were far deadlier than fleets. Every miscalculation of the aliens became their own undoing, every hesitation became an advantage, every attempt at dominance a roadmap for defeat. Inside the human warship, the crew moved with calm efficiency. The AI calculated, predicted, and guided. "Fleet pattern shows increased aggression," it said. "Energy fluctuations indicate hesitation in targeting. Shields at optimal efficiency. Prepare adaptive countermeasures." The crew adjusted controls silently, with perfect synchronization, rerouting energy, recalibrating sensors, anticipating every move before it happened. They had survived worse, endured worse, adapted better, and now they carried that legacy into the void. Every scar on the hull told a story of battles survived, of lessons learned, of patience mastered. The humans were not only surviving, they were mastering, learning, and teaching the galaxy the meaning of resilience. Fear in the alien council reached a level beyond comprehension. Voices shook. Limbs trembled. Screens flickered under the weight of terror. "We cannot outthink them," whispered one elder, eyes wide with disbelief. "Every action we take, every plan we make, every fleet maneuver, it is already anticipated, already counted. One ship, one vessel, has shown us how fragile we are. We are at their mercy." Another added, "They have turned every flaw, every hesitation, every miscalculation into their weapon. One ship alone has made us vulnerable in ways we cannot comprehend." The human warship continued to drift silently, patiently, relentlessly. Every signal, every pulse, every alien movement became data, became lessons, became strategy. The humans did not need to strike to dominate. Their intelligence, their patience, their endurance was weapon enough. Every microflaw of the aliens, every hesitation, every miscalculation, was a step toward ultimate mastery. Humanity had transformed survival into dominance, endurance into intelligence, and observation into unstoppable power. Time stretched across the void, and the alien fleet hesitated, unable to act without falling into calculated traps. One misstep, one delayed reaction, one failure to anticipate the humans could destroy them. Confidence, power, and pride had all crumbled. The council, paralyzed with fear, could do nothing but watch as one human ship, scarred, battered, alone, taught them the lesson they had never expected to learn. The humans had survived impossible odds, adapted faster than any species, and transformed patience, endurance, and observation into ultimate power. The lead elder, voice trembling, finally spoke aloud, "We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One vessel, scarred, battered, and alone, has made us powerless. Every fleet, every plan, every advantage we believed we had, meaningless. We have created our own doom." The chamber fell silent. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced with terror and awe. Humanity, calm, focused, ready, continued its silent dominance. Every hesitation, every error, every flaw of the aliens had been noted, studied, and converted into advantage. The humans had taken everything the aliens had unknowingly given them and forged it into unstoppable power. And so the human warship drifted silently, patient, calculating, aware, unstoppable. The void stretched endlessly around it, yet every second, every heartbeat, every movement of the ship carried the weight of generations. The aliens had mocked, underestimated, and dismissed them, but their laughter had died in the silence of realization. One ship, alone, scarred, battered, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and in its calm and patience, it carried the fury, wisdom, and unstoppable will of an entire species. The human warship floated silently in the endless void, battered, scarred, alone, yet alive with a presence that radiated silent dominance. Its hull bore the marks of countless battles, scratches from impossible encounters, and burns from attacks that should have shattered it. Every dent, every scar, every damaged panel told a story of survival, endurance, and experience. Yet within those scars lay the strength of centuries, the wisdom of countless generations, and a calm, calculating intelligence that no alien fleet could hope to match. Sensors rotated imperceptibly, systems hummed with life, and every signal from the alien fleet was recorded, analyzed, and transformed into knowledge. The crew moved with quiet precision, eyes reflecting the calm fire of humans who had survived the impossible, endured annihilation, and emerged stronger. Words were unnecessary. Every glance, every adjustment, every calculation spoke of readiness, patience, and unyielding determination. Humanity had faced the impossible before, and now one ship alone carried the cumulative strength of a species into the void, ready to turn observation, endurance, and intelligence into ultimate power. The alien council trembled in their chamber. Pride, arrogance, and confidence had long dissolved into fear. Every calculation, every strategy, every fleet maneuver they had perfected over centuries was useless. Their simulations collapsed under the weight of one human vessel. Every movement, every hesitation, every subtle adjustment the aliens made had been noted, anticipated, and countered by a ship they had mocked. "It is impossible," whispered one elder, voice trembling. "One vessel, scarred, battered, alone, should not have such power, should not anticipate, should not dominate. And yet, it does. We are helpless." Another elder's voice quivered as it added, "Every flaw, every hesitation, every weakness we have ever had is now theirs. We have trained them without knowing it. One ship, one vessel, has made us irrelevant." The alien fleet struck again, desperation replacing strategy. Missiles streaked across the void, energy waves pulsed violently, scanning probes swept relentlessly across the human ship. Every attempt to dominate, every calculated strike, every overwhelming attack failed. The human warship adapted instantly. Shields shifted, energy rerouted, engines adjusted, sensors recalibrated, countermeasures deployed. Every assault became data, every attack a lesson, every failure of the aliens a stepping stone for human mastery. The ship did not flinch. It did not panic. Every strike was anticipated, analyzed, and used to strengthen its systems, sharpen its strategy, and deepen its understanding. Humanity had turned survival into dominance, endurance into intelligence, and observation into a weapon beyond comprehension. Inside the human warship, the crew moved with seamless precision. Every monitor, every display, every sensor provided the data they needed to make instant, perfect decisions. The AI, a cold, calculating extension of centuries of human experience, guided them flawlessly. Energy output of fleet increasing by 15%. Shields at optimal adaptive configuration. Missiles detected Vector 4. Prepare automated countermeasures. Pattern predicts next strike in 12 seconds, it said, voice calm, emotionless, efficient. The crew adjusted with perfect synchronicity. Every microsecond mattered. Every decision was deliberate. Humanity had survived annihilation, adapted against impossible odds, and now carried that knowledge into the void, ready to turn patience, intelligence, and observation into unstoppable dominance. The alien council's panic escalated further. The elders' voices trembled uncontrollably. "They are not just surviving," one whispered. "They are mastering us. Every strategy we try, every plan we execute, every maneuver we make has already been predicted, already countered. One ship, alone, has shown us how fragile we are. Another added, every hesitation, every flaw, every failure has been absorbed and transformed into power. We are powerless against one vessel. One ship has taught us fear we never imagined. The human warship floated calmly, silent, yet every second carried the weight of strategy, experience, and intelligence. The aliens could see nothing striking, no weapons deployed, no signs of aggression, yet they understood fully that every moment of silence was preparation, every calculated pause a trap, every observation a weapon. Humanity was not just surviving, they were dominating. Every scar, every dent, every battle mark told the story of resilience, wisdom, and patience perfected over centuries. The aliens had underestimated them. They had laughed at their solitary vessel, mocked its scratches and dents, assumed its presence insignificant. Now they faced the terrifying truth: one human ship, alone, could master fleets, could anticipate empires, could transform patience, endurance, and observation into unstoppable force. Time stretched, yet every second increased tension. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how to act, paralyzed by fear of missteps, of hesitation, of imperfection. One mistake, one delayed reaction, one miscalculation, could destroy them. The Alien Council understood fully that this single human ship, scarred, battered, alone, held power beyond comprehension, a force not of weapons but of mind, will, endurance, and observation. Humanity had survived impossible odds, adapted faster than any species, and now carried that legacy as a weapon the galaxy could not confront. The lead elder finally spoke, voice trembling, quivering with disbelief and terror. We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One ship, scarred, battered, solitary, has made us powerless. Every fleet, every strategy, every advantage we thought we had, meaningless. We have created our own doom. Silence filled the chamber. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced with fear and awe. The humans, calm, patient, ready, continued their silent dominance. Every hesitation, every error, every flaw of the aliens had been noted, studied, and transformed into unstoppable power. Humanity had taken the knowledge the aliens unknowingly gave and forged it into mastery the Council could not touch, could not comprehend, could not survive. The human warship floated, calm, calculating, aware, unstoppable. Its presence alone had rewritten the rules of engagement. The Alien Council could do nothing but watch, helpless, terrified, and in awe. One ship, alone, scarred, battered, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The void was silent, yet filled with tension, awe, and the promise of unstoppable human will. The human warship drifted silently in the endless void, battered, scarred, alone, yet alive with a presence that radiated unstoppable power. Its hull bore the marks of countless battles, dents from near annihilation, burns from energy pulses that should have shattered it, yet each scar told a story of survival, resilience, and intelligence. Every system was alive, every sensor active, every movement calculated with a precision that no alien fleet could anticipate. The crew moved with quiet purpose, eyes reflecting the calm fire of humans who had survived the impossible, endured annihilation, and emerged stronger. They did not shout. They did not panic. Every glance, every adjustment, every decision carried centuries of human experience, patience, and endurance. Humanity had survived the impossible before, and now one ship alone carried that legacy into the void, turning observation, endurance, and intelligence into unstoppable dominance. The Alien Council trembled, paralyzed by fear. Pride, arrogance, and centuries of confidence had dissolved into terror. Every fleet maneuver, every energy pulse, every tactical adjustment had been anticipated and countered. Every simulation had failed. Every strategy they relied upon had collapsed. One ship, scarred, battered, and alone, had rendered their vast fleets irrelevant. "It sees everything," whispered an elder, voice trembling. "Every signal, every calculation, every hesitation, it has already learned. One vessel has outthought us all. We are powerless." Another elder added, voice quivering, "Every flaw, every weakness we have ever had, recorded. Every mistake we have made, now its advantage. One ship has turned our knowledge into its weapon. One ship, alone, has made us obsolete. The alien fleet struck again, desperation replacing strategy. Missiles streaked through the void, energy pulses erupted, scanning waves swept relentlessly. Every attack was neutralized instantly. Shields shifted, engines adjusted, sensors recalibrated. Every strike became data, every failure a lesson, every hesitation of the aliens a step toward their own undoing. The human warship did not flinch. It did not panic. Every attack only strengthened its strategy, sharpened its calculation, deepened its understanding. Humanity had turned endurance into intelligence, patience into power, observation into unstoppable force. Every scar on the hull, every dent, every burn mark was a story of survival and mastery. The humans were not just alive, they were dominant, aware, and ready. Inside the warship, the crew moved with perfect synchronicity. Every display, every sensor, every monitor fed them the data they needed to anticipate and outmaneuver the alien fleet. The AI, cold and precise, communicated instructions with flawless efficiency. Vector change detected in fleet formation. Energy spikes indicate desperation. Shields at optimal adaptive efficiency. Prepare for projected countermeasures. Timing of next strike predicted, 11 seconds, it said. The crew adjusted controls silently, perfectly, deliberately. Humanity had survived annihilation, adapted faster than any species, and carried that knowledge into the void as a weapon that could not be stopped, countered, or even fully understood. Fear in the alien council reached its peak. Their confidence was gone. Their pride dissolved. Every command trembled with uncertainty. Every strategy faltered. Every calculation failed. "They are not just surviving," whispered one elder, voice shaking. "They are mastering us. Every move we make, every signal we send, every hesitation, predicted, countered, anticipated. One ship, alone, has shown us how weak we are. We are powerless." Another added, "Every error, every flaw, every hesitation we have exposed, it is now their weapon. One vessel has made us irrelevant." The human warship floated, patient, calculating, unstoppable. Silence surrounded it, yet every second carried the weight of mastery, every movement a lesson, every observation a weapon. The aliens could see no weapons being deployed, no outward aggression, yet the humans had transformed patience, intelligence, and observation into ultimate power. Humanity was not just surviving, they were teaching, mastering, and preparing the galaxy for a reckoning that no one could stop. Every dent, every scar, every burn mark on the hull told a story of survival, experience, and precision perfected over centuries. The aliens had underestimated them, mocked them, and assumed their solitary vessel insignificant. Now they faced the terrifying truth: one human ship alone, scarred and battered, could master fleets, anticipate empires, and transform patience, endurance, and observation into unstoppable force. Time stretched, yet tension mounted. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure of how to act, paralyzed by fear, unable to calculate a single response without falling into traps already predicted. One misstep, one hesitation, one failure could destroy everything. The Council understood fully: this single human warship, alone, carried intelligence, patience, endurance, and willpower far beyond comprehension. Humanity had survived the impossible, adapted faster than any species, and now carried that legacy as a weapon the galaxy could not confront. The lead elder spoke at last, voice trembling, filled with fear, awe, and despair. "We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One ship, scarred, battered, solitary, has made us powerless. Every fleet, every strategy, every advantage we believed we had, meaningless. We have created our own doom." Silence consumed the chamber. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced in terror. The humans, calm, focused, ready, continued their silent dominance. Every hesitation, every error, every flaw of the aliens had been recorded, studied, and transformed into power. Humanity had turned everything the aliens had unknowingly given into mastery beyond comprehension. And so the human warship floated, calm, calculating, alive with the intelligence and endurance of generations, unstoppable. The alien council could do nothing but watch, helpless, terrified, and awed. One ship, alone, scarred, battered, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. In the silence of the void, the humans carried the fury, wisdom, and unstoppable will of an entire species, and the alien council realized, finally and fully, that they had underestimated a force they could never hope to stop. The human warship drifted silently in the endless void, alone, battered, scarred, yet alive with a presence that radiated unstoppable power. Every dent, every burn, every scratch on its hull told a story of survival, resilience, and experience, and every scar carried the weight of centuries of human endurance, battles fought, and lessons learned. Inside, the crew moved with calm precision, eyes reflecting the fire of humans who had survived annihilation and emerged stronger, wiser, and more patient than any other species in the galaxy. They did not shout. They did not panic. Every glance, every adjustment, every decision carried the culmination of countless generations' knowledge, strategy, and willpower. Humanity had faced the impossible, endured the unspeakable, and now, one ship alone carried the legacy of an entire species into the void, turning patience, observation, and endurance into a weapon no fleet could challenge. The alien council had long since descended into chaos. Pride, arrogance, and centuries of confidence had dissolved into terror and disbelief. Every simulation, every strategy, every fleet maneuver had failed against one human vessel. The elders could do nothing. Every move they made, every signal they sent, every hesitation they showed had been anticipated, recorded, and converted into advantage for the humans. "It sees everything," whispered one trembling elder. "Every signal, every calculation, every strategy, all anticipated. We are powerless." Another elder, voice quivering, added, "Every flaw, every misstep, every weakness we have ever had, now theirs. One ship alone has made us irrelevant. We cannot fight what we do not understand." The alien fleet lashed out with every weapon, energy pulses, missiles, and volleys of fire. But the human warship adapted instantly. Shields flexed, engines shifted, energy rerouted, sensors recalibrated. Every strike was absorbed, every attack turned into data, every miscalculation of the aliens became a lesson, every hesitation a weapon for the humans. The ship did not panic. It did not flinch. Every assault made it stronger, sharper, smarter, more aware. Humanity had learned that patience, endurance, and observation were deadlier than any weapon. The ship carried the wisdom of centuries, the strategy of countless battles, and the calm of those who had survived the impossible. Every scar on the hull, every dent, every burned panel told a story of resilience and mastery. The humans were not merely surviving, they were dominating, teaching, and preparing the galaxy for the reckoning no one could prevent. Inside the ship, the crew moved with perfect synchronicity. Every monitor, every sensor, every system fed them the knowledge to anticipate and outmaneuver every attack. The AI, precise and cold, communicated with perfect efficiency. Fleet formation shows desperation. Energy spikes indicate exhaustion. Shields at maximum adaptive configuration. Predicted attack vectors in 7 seconds. Initiate countermeasures, it said. The crew adjusted controls silently, deliberately, with the calm fire of warriors who had faced annihilation and turned it into mastery. Humanity had survived impossible odds and carried that experience into the void, transforming observation, patience, and intelligence into unstoppable force. The alien council watched helplessly as their fleets faltered, their attacks neutralized, their plans obsolete. Fear had consumed them completely. "They are not just surviving," whispered one elder, voice shaking with disbelief and terror. "They are mastering us. Every move, every signal, every hesitation we make, already anticipated, already countered. One ship alone has shown us our weakness, our mortality, our irrelevance." Another added, "Every flaw, every hesitation, every error we committed has become theirs. One ship has made our centuries of experience meaningless. We cannot hope to survive this." The human warship drifted with calm inevitability. Its presence alone had rewritten the rules of engagement. The aliens could see no weapons being fired, no outward aggression, yet every second of silence carried the weight of strategy, intelligence, and preparation for domination. Humanity was not simply alive, they were aware, patient, calculating, and unstoppable. Every dent, every scar, every burn mark told the story of survival perfected over centuries, of lessons learned from annihilation, and of patience turned into power. The aliens had mocked them, underestimated them, dismissed them, but the terrifying truth was now unavoidable. One human ship alone, scarred, battered, and solitary, could anticipate empires, master fleets, and turn endurance, observation, and intelligence into unstoppable dominance. Time stretched endlessly, yet tension mounted. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how to act, paralyzed by fear. One mistake, one delayed reaction, one miscalculation could annihilate them. The Council understood fully that this single human ship carried intelligence, patience, endurance, and willpower far beyond comprehension. Humanity had survived annihilation, adapted faster than any species, and now carried that legacy as a weapon that no one could challenge. Finally, the lead elder spoke, voice trembling, eyes wide with disbelief and terror. We cannot fight them. We cannot outthink them. One vessel, scarred, battered, solitary, has made us powerless. Every fleet, every plan, every advantage we thought we had, meaningless. We have created our own doom. Silence consumed the chamber. Every console flickered. Every elder's mind raced with terror and awe. The humans, calm, focused, ready, continued their silent dominance. Every hesitation, every error, every flaw of the aliens had been recorded, studied, and transformed into power. Humanity had turned what the aliens unknowingly gave them into mastery beyond comprehension. The human warship drifted, patient, calculating, aware, unstoppable. Its presence alone had reshaped the galaxy. The alien council could do nothing but watch, helpless, terrified, and awed. One ship, alone, scarred, battered, had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Humanity was awake. Humanity was aware. Humanity had begun its reckoning. The warship that was never supposed to surface had arrived, carrying the fury, wisdom, and unstoppable will of an entire species. The galaxy would never be the same. Every star, every fleet, every council would remember this moment. That one human vessel, alone and scarred, had rewritten the rules of power, dominance, and survival forever. The void was silent, yet filled with awe, fear, and the undeniable truth of humanity's triumph.